Hey folks, Mike Dawkins from World Cast Anglers here with your Jackson Hole fly fishing forecast for the last weekend of August 26th and 27th. I missed y'all last week. I was up fishing Lamar, the Soda Butte Creek, Slough Creek, and some of that awesome stuff up in the northeast corner of Yellowstone National Park with some buddies. We had awesome fishing, dry fly fishing, dry dropper fishing, classic Yellowstone cutthroat fishing. It was so much fun. If that's something that you're interested in, put that on the list for these next couple weekends of the end of summer, and you'll be pleasantly surprised at how much fun that is. August, it's pretty much over. Summer's sort of starting to wane. We've actually had a couple trees start to turn colors. We're still really green for this time of year, which is quite rare, and that's been a product of the late season precipitation and cooler weather that we've been having, that we've all been really enjoying, and our trout friends have really been enjoying it too, because it's been keeping us under that 66-65 degree threshold that they don't necessarily really like. So usually this time of year, especially in the past 2 years, we've been issuing warnings of carrying your thermometers, learn how to use them, you know, stop fishing in the afternoon. And this year we've just sort of been cruising by. Our fishing has stayed super stable and super consistent, and all of us are super happy about it. Looking into these next couple weeks, like sort of before fall gets going, you know, this is the time of year where our summer hatches start to sort of taper off. Our fall hatches haven't really gotten started, and then the rest of the time you're sort of left in this limbo period, and those are times where I like to plug in the terrestrials. Your hoppers, your beetles, your ants, your things along those lines. We'll have some hot, sunny, dry, summer-like days where I'd still be looking to fish some PMDs, you know, mutant stones, you know, caddis, some of those things. And we're gonna have some cloudy, overcast, crummy days like we've had, you know, earlier this week, where that's when we're starting to see some of our mahoganies, some of our betas, and some of things along those lines. So I'd be ready with lots of arrows in the quiver in that sense. We've been seeing, you know, some pretty good, cool, you know, late summer weather, I was saying earlier, and so it's sort of sustained some of our hatches here and there a little bit longer than we normally see. Saturday, 75 and 52, partly cloudy. Sunday, 76 and 52, mostly sunny. And that's sort of what our 10-day forecast looks like. Some chances of some afternoon thunder showers and some things like that. So, you know, fall's knocking on our door and summer's sort of coming to a close, which doesn't necessarily bum me out. I love summertime, but I really love fall too, with the fishing, and once crowds sort of subside and we sort of get, you know, a more mellow pace, you know, around the greater Jackson Hole area. If you haven't visited during that time, it's definitely a time to put on the calendar to check it out. So check this out. Jackson Lake is 80% of capacity. Palisades Reservoir is 69% of capacity. This time last year, we were talking about teens and in single digits. So we're going to be coming into the water storage period of fall and winter pretty fat on water. So hopefully our water managers don't put us into a situation where I'm talking to you in spring where they're starting to release a lot of water because they don't have enough room. The South Fork of the Snake, 8,500 CFS coming out of Palisades Dam, 8,710 CFS there on the lower river. The South Fork has sort of sustained its fishing, as I was saying earlier, all the way through the month of August. We're seeing great hatches of mutant stones or the Classinia stones, you know, dawn patrol missions, daylight until about 10, 11 o'clock. Pick some of your favorite foam patterns like Chernobyl bugs, water walkers, and things like that. Twitch them off of banks, twitch them off of flats, holes, eddies, things like that. And think of it as sort of dry fly, streamer fishing with dry flies. Those have been really good. Our terrestrials and hoppers have been fishing well in the afternoon, paired with droppers like your tungsten tactical jigs, Spanish bullets, smaller Duracells, you know, things along those lines. And then back to that, we've sort of seen some PMDs, we've seen some mahoganies, we've seen some betas. I'd be ready with all of it. For your droppers, I'd probably pare them down pretty small. I'd start fishing some of those olive and darker tones to imitate the mahoganies and the betas and things that we've been seeing. The Snake and Jackson, 2,280 CFS being discharged from Jackson Lake Dam, 4,020 CFS there on the lower river. Similarly, the Snake has been fishing in true late summer form we've had our first reports of our Hecuba or snake drakes. So your smaller gray drakes, your smaller green drake imitations in those 12s and 14s are going to work really well. Parachute hare's ear, purple parachute, things along those lines. There's also some good hatches of mutant stones and Classinia stones over there, and the beginning of some of those mahoganies and those betas. The Teton right behind me, 395 CFS up here by Driggs, 685 CFS there on the lower river. Normally we'd start to see some of the dog days of summer out here on the Teton, but we've sort of cruised on by. You know, the PMD fishing is starting to wane. The mahogany and the drake fishing, the Hecuba drake fishing hasn't really gotten going yet. So we're fishing a lot of terrestrials, hoppers, beetles, and ants. The canyon section, man, they've been on a marathon run, still fishing well, still a good amount of water down there, good clarity, you know, good dry dropper fishing and foam fishing as well. The Henry's Fork to the north of us, 615 CFS coming out of the box, 1,330 CFS there on the lower river. If you're fishing the lower river, it's mostly just a terrestrial game and still on that early morning program when water temperatures are at their coolest. Up there in the box, dry dropper fishing has been pretty darn good, but we're sort of back to the double nymph rigs with smaller tungsten jig, pheasant tails, you know, and some of those tactical tailwater fare has been really productive. You could try a hopper dropper, but I'd keep those flies low and slow in the zone in the box this time of year. The ranch has been really good with PMD spinners, caddis, you know, maybe the occasional flav spinner here and there, and then the beginning of some of the honey ants and the flying ants and some of those bugs along those lines. We've got Flat Creek, which is open for all of those interested parties that like head hunting fish and sort of that stalking, you know, hunting style of fishing with dry flies. We've been seeing leftover PMDs, caddis. We've also seen, you know, a couple calabatus, you know, here and there, as well as the terrestrial game I've been speaking about. But some of those first cloudy overcast days that we've been seeing, I'd be out there with those snake drakes. I'd be out there with those mahoganies and those betas. Yellowstone National Park, as I was just saying, it's sort of coming back online here with fishing opportunities in the late summer and early fall. You know, with the warmer, you know, the warmer, drier temperatures aren't super productive, you know, for say the Firehole, Madison. I sort of reserve that stuff for the latter part of the summer and fall. But like I said, that Lamar River Valley right now, Soda Butte Creek, Slough Creek, portions of Pebble Creek, all of that stuff has been fishing really good as well. So we've got our fly shop happy hour happening on Friday. I've got like a flying ant hatch all over me right now, so definitely I would have some of those. Our fly shop happy hour, we've got our sale rack 60% off flies, buy a dozen get a dozen free. We've got dollar tall boys, and this week we've got 40% off our summer wading footwear. So that's Friday 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the fly shop. So great fishing still ahead for the end of the summer in Greater Jackson Hole and the Teton Valley area. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.